One thing that I gotta mention is probably the biggest mistake that I've made in real estate early on was not spending money when I should have. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch. I run multiple real estate teams around the country, and frankly, I'm only interested in helping agents who want to do things differently. So if that's you, come hang out for a while, hit the subscribe button. And today's video, it's a little philosophy, a little bit theory. We're talking, if you're not pushing for expansion, you're not just gonna stay where you are. You will lose market share. And in the spirit of expansion, in the spirit of constant improvement, I got some new gear for the shop to keep making our stuff better and better. Manfrotto light stand for that new light we got. I don't know if you saw that a few episodes ago, mostly for our home tour videos, because yeah, we got to improve that lighting situation. And then this is pretty cool. This goes on the top of the light stand and turns into a tripod stand for podcasts and stuff. This is basically a quick release kit that I'm just hoping works with these Peak Design mounts, because basically we're just sick of having to take an Allen wrench to put one thing on a different stand and switch from stand to stand. So I'm trying to quick release and with all Peak Design mounts so that everything attaches to everything. This is a ball head that can then attach to this, and then basically that becomes a much more usable tripod than how it currently exists. To the tune of $2,295.19, and boy, it doesn't feel like there's much to show for it, but hopefully quality keeps improving, just constantly trying to get better. And actually, there's one more thing, but I have to bring this into the other room, I think, because this thing is going to be a game changer. Let's switch sides. Okay, so this particular item I'm pretty excited about. I watched a couple videos about it. It was a little bit back ordered, but it arrived, and it's pretty much goes against what I've always thought about about filmmaking and such. This is the real thing, and this is sort of part of it. This whole thing is a very, very clever teleprompter. This will be super helpful for any talking head style video I do, whether it's on this channel or other channels. This will be super helpful for Zoom calls with clients or agents who maybe want to work with me. And this will be super cool to be able to use on podcasts. If I'm ever doing a podcast where I'm a guest and it's a sort of a Zoom style podcast. More on this later, but the beauty is that I can look straight into the camera and also exactly at who I'm talking to. This will get a video of its own somewhere down the line once I know what I'm doing with it. And this is still just an empty box. So I've invested in a lot of gear. Our shop has so much equipment, and over time I've invested in a lot of different photography items. Although I don't feel like I waste money on gear. I think it's too easy to waste money on gear, and too many people buy gear that frankly they won't use. But I think probably the single best investment I have made in all of real estate is people. And in fact, I invested in a full-time remote employee before I had made a single penny in actual commissions in real estate. And it was because I could see the writing on the wall. I could see that there was this incredible opportunity, but I didn't have enough time to get the work done that I had to. So I hired people. I can't stress enough how important that is. I have now 3 full-time remote employees and 1 full-time employee who is Paul. He's holding the camera right now. And actually the second story of this building right here is now our office. It's awesome, it's huge, it's been an awesome investment, but I got something to show you. Now we're actually in the neighborhood where our old shop space was, and this window right here is the only window in our old shop space. And at the time, I felt like a king being in that space. It was probably 400 square feet or so, not very big. Again, one window, kind of strange access at the front door, but the shop space itself was so valuable to me for almost 2 years. The thumbnail of this video says, stop saving money. And I don't mean don't save any money. I mean, don't only save money. You have to spend money on your business to make it grow. And I have a few other things that I want you to think about, but let me bring these first 3 together. Gear, spaces, and people. To me, those are the bedrock of the whole thing. And what you should be focused on with any of those things is, do they allow you to make the best use of your time? Do they allow you to be more efficient? Do they allow you to create more volume and put more stuff out? Because I think volume leads to an understanding. The more you put out, the more feedback you have on what you put out. And that could be on anything. It doesn't just have to be video, although that's a huge focus for me. It could be mailers. It could be all sorts of things like that. I hired an editor because I didn't have time to both shoot and edit and post and tell people in real estate. I did early before I actually had clients, but then once I started getting clients, I was like, oh shoot, I don't have the time to edit now because I'm helping clients. I made a priority to make my gear not necessarily the single best gear that money could buy. I had a focus on, can I pick this up, walk out the door, and get a lot done in a day? So all of my channels, my real estate channels, are fundamentally, anytime I'm walking around, that's shot on a GoPro, a much more affordable GoPro than the camera that I'm shooting this on right now. And when I first got this space, it was all about time, all about being totally set up with my lights and a table and a background, and all I do is walk in the door, press record, and I'm shooting. With any acquisition you get, with any money you spend, I want the North Star to be, does this help me do the thing that only I can do? And I think it's important not only to maximize your time and focus on what you're best at, but to also just keep pushing the envelope. That's a lot about what this channel is about, as you'll see if you hang out and subscribe and whatever. Some things that I'm working on right now that I will admit I have not cracked the code of yet are paid ads on Google and YouTube, and also mailers and things like that. A couple things that we've just added to sort of our repertoire within the last year are home tours, and we try to have the coolest home tours like anywhere on the internet about houses in Minnesota. We also have a podcast where we interview guests, or we interview clients who we've helped move to the Twin Cities. And we also have a whole new channel called Schools in the Twin Cities that focuses on researched, shot, and then uploaded and whatever by one of my best friends, Bradford, who I've known basically forever, which, by the way, people, finding good talent, that's a little bit more of that. And then one thing I'm gonna push a lot for this year is trying to be a guest on other podcasts. I really enjoy that type of thing. Real quick, this has nothing to do with this video, but this is one of my favorite parts of Minneapolis. This is the St. Anthony, Maine area. It's just such a cool spot. One thing that I gotta mention is probably the biggest mistake that I've made in real estate early on was not spending money when I should have. I held off for so long. I already had a full-time editor for probably a year before I started paying transaction coordinators. And now my transaction coordinators are one of like the MVPs of my entire business, of my entire team. And it took a friend saying, you don't have transaction coordinators and you're as busy as you are? What are you doing for me to do it? So just don't be a cheap ass. Don't sell yourself short. I promise you, investing into your business will pay off way, way, way more than just saving, I don't know, a few grand a year.